an internal source. So when people start talking about letting go, just learn how to let go. It is exceedingly difficult to let go of something externally until you've let go internally. Now, that doesn't mean go inside and be like, yeah, let them go because they wasn't good for you. That's how people approach letting go. Yeah, let them go because they disrespected you and they didn't honor you and they didn't cherish you. That's still blaming externally. I'm saying go inside and do a thorough accounting of limited beliefs, of wounds that contribute to your relationship expectations. What do you mean? Wounds that, yes, yes. See, when you don't heal the wound sets up shop. And the wound is setting up shop to dictate how you relate. Did you hear that? The wound sets up shop to dictate how you relate. So, when we start talking about letting go, whatever your known has become. Do you understand me? Your known. What is your known? Have you checked into it? What is your known? Meaning, what is normal for you? What are your beliefs? Where do they come from? Are the beliefs limited? How are they limited? What makes them limited? What model as a child for conflict management? What's your communication style? Figuring out all of these things that lead up to how you show up in relationship is imperative if you want to let somebody go. Because part of letting people go is really about what is no longer serving you internally in terms of your belief system. I like the way Robert Anton Wilson put it. He says, the word belief system can be broken down to an acronym. BS. You got to learn to know when your belief system has started BSing you. That's what you need to let go of. See, because once you let go of the BS belief system, that belief system could be born out of, it could have many factors that contributed to its inception. But once you discover how it was constructed and you start letting that go, you'll find it's not difficult to let go of people. People tend to just fall off in an organic way because they'll notice, hey, you've changed. You're different now. Something's different about you. The vibe between us has changed. What's going on with you? You get what I'm saying? You're going to start getting those type of inquiries. But I'm here to tell you, if none of that work is done, your next will be your ex, just in a different body. Please understand that the belief system works as a script, right? Ladies, I tell the ladies this all the time. You better modify that script. You better figure out what contributed to that script. What operating system or what software are you using to write your script? Right? Figure that out. You know why? Because what happens is if your relational script, i.e. expectations, I'm not saying shouldn't have them. I'm saying wounds shouldn't contribute to the authorship of them. Unhealed wounds, right? Should not contribute to the authorship of your relationship script. Because what happens is men want to figure out what is your script. And once we figure out the script, we model our behavior to the script. We're relationship actors for the most part. Let me figure out what role you need me to play, and then I'll fit that role. That's how men think in general. These are not absolutes. That's how men think in general. Let me mold my behavior to her desired expectations. Right? So now you got to go in and say, where did this script come from? Is this an original script? Or is this a template that I filled in with bits and pieces of my unique experience, but I inherited some of this stuff from somewhere? Do you understand? I'm here to tell you, ladies, change the script. Anything that you didn't write, watch how, look how this work. Listen, if you were hurt by somebody, you didn't write that event. That was somebody else's. You're not responsible for what someone else does, but you are responsible for identifying with the hurt they perpetuated against you. Oh, Lord. When we come forward, the voice of reason will continue to cook up this topic. Call me 1-800-920-1580. Bring it home. And tonight's playlist is going to feature some of the greatest women groups in R&B history. You heard the Jones Girls, and now you're hearing the Mary Jane Girls. Now, you know the Mary Jane Girls was the brainchild of Rick James. And he shared this idea with Prince. And it is rumored and it was stated that Prince stole the idea or beat him to the punch in developing the idea. And Prince came out with Vanity 6. And Vanity 6 is on this playlist as well. It's very interesting. The Mary Jane Girls were more successful than Prince's girl group, even though Prince undercut Rick James. Unity. Undercut Rick and beat him to the punch on his own idea. But the Mary Jane Girls had hits. And a lot of people don't really recognize the production prowess and the musicality of Rick James. Rick James was an amazing songwriter and producer. And he did a lot of songwriting and producing for different acts on Motown. When he was with Motown, you know, of course he developed his protege Tina Marie, but they'll be featured in my playlist tonight. Back to our topic. What are some of the best reasons for why your ex should never become your next? But I'm here to say, no, your next usually is a version of your ex, because many of us have not been conditioned to be accountable for who we attract, for why we attract the type of people we attract, for why we agree to certain agreements, right? I mean, a very powerful question to ask yourself is, why did you break up with your ex? Right? I ruminate on this often. Like, why do you break up with your ex? What was the purpose? What was the purpose of leaving? And I don't want to give answers, right? I want you to participate. Get to your phone line, 1-800-920-1580. How have you given yourself space from your ex? Now, remember, we did a whole show on good space, right? Which is sukha, which is peace and ease. This is the Sanskrit term that the Buddhists use, sukha, right? Peace. It's the opposite of dukkha. Du means du, bad, ka, space, bad space. And oftentimes, dukkha, when you look up the different definitions of it, is dissatisfaction, disappointment, disapproval, frustration, general unhappiness. And many of us are coexisting in relationships where we're generally unhappy, generally unfulfilled, generally unsatisfied. So we're living in a relationship space, which is bad space. We're living in dukkha with another person. So now the question comes back. Have you given yourself space from your ex? Like, if you've made the decision to move on, right? Have you really stuck to it? And during the stick to it, the stick-to-itiveness that is necessary for that, what have you done? Have you been in a personal cocoon where you are evaluating yourself from a non-judgmental space? Observing yourself without judgment? Like, how did I wind up here? What does this space have to teach me about me? How did I show up? How should I have shown up? And when you get to how should I have shown up, don't beat yourself up for not showing up in the way that you thought you should. Because as Morpheus says, no, it couldn't have happened any other way. Morpheus in the Matrix, of course, right? The way it happened is the way it happened. It couldn't have happened any other way. Because sometimes we get caught up on the shoulds and could haves and woods and, man, I could have did this. We get on the I wishes. Don't do that to yourself. It happened the way it was supposed to happen because, in my opinion, that goes back to fine-tuning, the fine-tuning of the universe. In my opinion, it happened the way you needed it to happen so you can grow out of the space you're in currently. Ask yourself questions like, why do you miss your partner? Do you miss the physicality? Do you miss the closeness? Right? What did you bond with? And what did you bond more with? Their triggers or their nurturing, if they were nurturing? Did you bond with their talent over their character? Did you bond more with their talent and less with their character, or vice versa? What is it that you miss? 1-800-920-1580. Let's go to Orlando, Florida. Chet, jump in here. Let's talk.
Hey, what's up, good brother? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm in here cooking as usual.
Okay, so I'm having some trouble with my ex. So, like, I guess it's probably a problem with all of us where we haven't been taught to properly respect the man and give a man what he needs to be around the home. So now I'm dealing with an ex where we're co-parenting, we're sharing in these responsibilities, but every time she comes around my house, she's super disrespectful, man, and I cannot accept that.
Wait, hold on one second. Your volume down in the background because I could hear the show.
Okay.
But now, every time she comes around, she's super disrespectful.
Super disrespectful.
Okay, give me examples of that.
All right. So today we went out to the park. And
wait,
my daughter,
you and the ex, or you and the daughter?
Me and the ex and the daughter.
Oh, family outing.
Family outing.
Got it.
So we went to the park, and the ex wants to take my daughter by the water and walks her through an ant pile. Now, this is something that she's always does. So she goes out and plays with my daughter, and then they get into ant piles. And then all of a sudden, my daughter's bit up with ants, and then my ex doesn't have any idea as far as, like, watching where she's walking. So as my daughter gets into the ant pile today, I'm like, okay, I get a little upset, and I'm like, okay, check her feet to see if there's ants still biting her. And my ex is like, well, you check her feet. Oh, shit, okay.
No, you can't curse.
Sorry.
You
okay,
can't
so
curse,
she's saying,
brother.
okay, so she's saying, I say, check her feet. And she said, you check her feet. Okay. So now we're having this argument, this power struggle in front of my daughter where I'm saying, hey, check her feet to see if there's ant bites. And then my ex is saying, well, you check her feet because you shouldn't be telling me what to do and all this extra stuff. So that's just one small argument just leading into a bigger issue, I think. And that is how to give the man, the dad, or whatever, the family member, the male, the respect he needs. Because me as a child, I didn't have a man in the home, so we didn't have to respect anybody. But now, as I'm raising my children, I see that is needed.
Okay.
So, like, how
So let me stop you because there's a couple of points here that has to happen that I can see here. Number one, you could tell that the relationship between you and your daughter's mother is a low quality relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Family outings are for healthy families, in my opinion. Y'all not a healthy family. I'm just keeping it real. Y'all not a healthy family.
Okay.
Right? Until you could deal with what's wrong with you, you guys are going to try to do normal stuff. Like your child deserves a family outing with mom and dad. However, if mom and dad are toxic, the chances of the family outing turning toxic because you guys can't communicate or keep her fronter, right? The chances of it eroding is kind of high. So, and I'm saying, like, until there's this commitment to self, like, let me work on me. Let me be better, right? Because even in the moment of her being disrespectful, this is not to let her off the hook. right?
Mm.
But even in the moment of her being disrespectful, and I'm not saying you didn't do this, you should always try to keep your center. And I know it's impossible to always do anything, but you should always try to be like, okay, I'm gonna keep my cool for the sake of my child, right?
Right.
And if you find yourself in that kind of position, I think until you guys start doing the individual work, it's best to have daddy time, daddy daughter time. You take her to the park, and then mother daughter time. But then as you guys grow up and evolve as people, then maybe later on y'all could do family outings. But a family outing with two people that got issues with each other is bound to run aground. Now watch this. I'm listening to you. In all your examples, I should be respected is based on your gender, bruh, not your character. Listen, you said the man, the dad, I'm the man, I'm the dad, I should be respected. You also said you were raised in a home without the dad. So that's
Correct.
that's part of your need to be respected, because had you been raised with a dad, you probably would have a different, response to her based off of what dad showed you, based on the quality of man he was, right? Do you see how all of these relationships are interconnected? So again, yes, you deserve respect, but the respect you get from others is the respect you develop within self-respect. How you respect, not just based on your position, but based on character development, the work you've put in. And I'm not saying you deserve disrespect, brother. Please hear me when I say this. You do not deserve to be disrespected. But you also got to see who you attracted and why you attracted that person and why they feel it's okay to disrespect you. This is when I go back to the drawing board within myself and say, in what ways do I disrespect myself? In what ways have I not shown up for myself? In what ways do I encourage this kind of behavior? Do you understand what I'm getting at, brother?
I think so. I'm liking it though. Come, keep going, keep going.
Do you understand? Because listen, you are not responsible for how she responds to you, but you attracted a certain level of consciousness in a person, in a being. This woman is at a point now where she feels like she gets to disrespect you. So one of the things you can do to show that you respect yourself is to say, I'm no longer going on these outings until we find a better way to communicate. Now that's masculinity, that's leadership, right? That's man taking the leadership role. You know what? We need counseling. You know what? We need therapy. We cannot put our daughter in this position again where we gonna fight or where we gonna have a disagreement. Take a leadership role. Let's go to therapy, because whatever is bothering you about me, we need to get to the crux of it before we lay it again in front of our child. Why? Because your child is modeling how you guys interact, and she gonna start treating y'all the way y'all treat each other, because y'all are the ones who taught her this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So what do I do now? So like if I'm not in a position where we're not together, right? That's my ex. So we were married and now we're separated. I have my own place. She has her own place. Now we're trying to move forward and figure out how to co-parent. So how to move forward with somebody who's maybe not be willing to like go through the counseling or go through the like the relationship building like process with me.
Here we go, brother. When we come forward, I'm going to tell my brother how to deal with this situation. Brother, stay on the line. I'm going to carry you over. When we come forward, we still got a lot to talk about.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Respect is an inside job. The moment you hold yourself in high regard, that's a vibrational conscious frequency. Ladies and gentlemen, my playlist is my co-host. That is the great In Vogue. What's my brother's name on the line? I can't see his name over here. What's his name? Chet. So to answer your question, brother, you can never work with the unwilling. See, when people are not willing to work, right? You hear people say, do it in the best interest of the child. There are a lot of broken people out there who think they're doing things in the best interest of the child, but in reality, in the long term, you'll see that they'll hurt the child. So if I'm gonna do something in the best interest of the child, right? Let's just look at the station of parenting, station of fatherhood and motherhood. You know what? In an ideal fantasy world, we'll be like, the baby come first, regardless of what we going through. The baby comes first. And there are some people out there that do it, but I would argue that there are more people that don't do the right thing, right? So guess what? If you go to her and say, yo, we need counseling, and she goes, I don't want to do it, you need counseling. You go take counseling then. Do it for you. Don't worry about her. If she come around, she come around. If she don't, she don't. The counseling will help you gather the tools you need in order to navigate around where she is. Now, just because she's there doesn't mean you got to stay there. So do the self-work for you. Now, if you present it and she's willing, then cool. Y'all can progress from there, right? But there has to be a mutual bi-directional willingness to get better. But if it's just you, then just do it for you. At some point, she may or may not come around. But the one person who will be paying attention to the growth in her parents will be your daughter. And if your daughter is able to see you grow up spiritually, she gonna know later on. She gonna be like, I feel daddy in a different way. She gonna love her mother always, right? But she gonna be like, no, something different about dad, because dad went on some kind of journey that I'm not unaware of, but I know his spirit opened up. These kids are very sensitive to that, bruh. If you lock in and she lock in and y'all lock horns, y'all teaching the baby how to lock horns. All right? I appreciate you, Chet. Thank you for bringing Orlando, Florida in the building. When we come forward, top of the second hour, and I'm going to Daryl in Los Angeles.
Save your fight, you won't get very far. Gave you many chances to make change. The only thing you changed was love to hate. It doesn't matter what you do, what you say. She doesn't love you no way. Maybe next time you get your woman.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Stevens. Here's a look.
The Jones Girls. Woo! Man, we got to get back to our relationships feeling as good as our records. Boy, that felt like a bowl of hot cream of wheat with butter, brown sugar, nutmeg. Lord, that's cream of wheat with no lumps. Lord have mercy. Whew. Lord have mercy. When was the last time your relationship felt like Sunday morning breakfast, man? That's just beautiful right there. Whew. Well, tonight's topic, we got callers on the line. Tonight's topic, what are some of the best reasons for why your ex should never become your next? Yee. Tough topic. I argue that every next you encounter will be some type of representative of your ex if you haven't done any internal work. And people are always fronting. People are always fronting like they do the work. Let me tell you something. Time don't heal no wounds. Using the time that you're away from relationships, using the time to dig in and figure out how you show up, what it is about you that needs to be elevated. That is an effective use of the time. People think just sitting around waiting is healing, but it's not. And you'll find out when your next ex shows up and irritates those same old wounds. I know they didn't want to hear that tonight. 1-800-920-1580. Daryl from Los Angeles, get in here and chop it up.
Hey, Zoe, you are the man. Nah, dude, you got to understand. You doing a service out here, man.
Wow.
You got guys listening to you, and they know you right? Mm-hmm. They know you right. They would never tell from anybody but you. Because you the one, your delivery system is unbelievable, dude.
Wow.
Because you can relate, right? You would make people want to go to therapy if this is what they can get. But see, you got a different flavor on it, right? It's got to come from you for most guys like us to digest.
Wow.
Because other people won't deliver it in the same way where we can really digest it. I mean, you got me looking inward like I always should have been, but I was always looking from the outside, looking from the inside out when I should have been looking from the outside into me, right? Because that's where everything is. It's not, you can't, like when you go, like your topic tonight, why should your ex never be your next? Mm-hmm. But when people want to go back to when people want to, I think at least for myself, I can speak on myself, there's only 2 women that I've had in my life in a relationship with that I really want to go back to. And to go back would be suicide because I'll be searching for the memories and those magic moments we shared. Not all the other crap that came along with it. And as soon as those memories and those magic moments don't appear or don't, in the same frequency, in the same, in that same feeling, and it can't. Because we're older, we've grown, we've got more baggage, so to speak, in terms of how we navigated our way to this point, and we can't go back. Those magic moments was then. Mm-hmm. You can create new ones. If that happens, then beautiful. But the likelihood of it happening the way you want it to, from an ex, it's possible, but it's few and far between. It's like a needle in a haystack. But in terms of going back to you, though, I hadn't heard you ever before. You had sat in for somebody on
my
the
sister,
afternoon.
My sister, Dr. Jashana Johnson.
Okay, you had sat in for her. Dude, when I heard you then, I was like, where the hell did this brother come from? Because you was resonating with me like the first dude the black dude that ever done that was Les Brown. right? Because
Mm.
you show me stuff that I never saw before, and it resonates because I can lock in on it. And it helps, dude. But I can only imagine if you're doing that for me, you're doing that for hundreds of thousands of people that listen to you that probably don't call in, you know? But I had to call in because I do that to you. And Dominique, I don't know how many times I've called in to Dominique. Tavis don't really let you call into his show. He got a topic. He goes interview these people and give you that intel. But black radio talk radio was needed. It's needed across the country. I'm glad you syndicated all the way across the country. But anyways, you brother, hey man, keep doing what you're doing, huh? You helping so many brothers, especially me. You the first dude that, what did you say? You had said something. I said, no, he didn't. What did you say? But see, you the only dude I ever, when your show come on, dude, TV goes off, emails shut down, the computer shut down, I grab a note and pad because you be talking, you be saying, you be kicking all these jewels, dude. And if I don't write them down, my brain is like lightning, one great flash in total darkness. I'll forget it. So, I'll only get bits and pieces of it, and then I'll be like, damn, what the hell did he say? And so, but it helps, man. It's so, you're a beautiful dude, man. You're a beautiful dude.
Man.
And keep doing what you're doing, bro. I can't tell you what a blessing you are. I know if you this powerful and impactful in my life, I can only imagine the brothers out there walking around in the dark, man.
Wow.
And come on.
Wow.
And you self-taught. I know they say reading is fundamental, but dude, damn, you took it to a whole new level.
Hey, brother, man, you have no idea, man. You have no idea how much your words mean to me, brother. Because, you know, sometimes I'm just doing it.
Likewise.
But thank you, brother. I appreciate it. That means the world to me to hear your powerful words about me, man, and the work that I'm doing. And I'm going to keep doing it. And this is the reason why I do it, brother. So thank you again for calling in. Thank you for holding on the line. And really, thank you for sharing that, brother. Thank you.
And if I may, one more thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Holding on the line is hard because you kick out more jewels. Like when you helping other people and stuff, you forget about what the hell you call for because you're trying to digest what you telling other people.
Wow.
You're a beautiful dude, man.
Thank you,
you're
brother.
You're a beautiful dude.
Wow.
Keep it up. Keep it up. All right, man. I'll be listening.
Thank you, brother. Wow, Daryl. Man, this is the best Friday in a long time. Long time. I appreciate that, man. That uplifted my soul because sometimes that's what it's about, man. If you talking and I know how it is, man. These are some heavy topics and you know, I try to bring levity to it. I try to, you know, throw some variety in with my co-host or whatever. But I know sometimes people don't want to talk. You know, they want to listen. And sometimes on my end, it feels like I might just be throwing it out into a vacuum and I don't know if it's impacting. But that, you know, really, that brother, Daryl from Los Angeles, just really warmed my whole soul and really just uplifted me in a way that I feel like I'm uplifting you. I tell you guys all the time, man. You know, before I walk into this building every single day, and these people can attest, we got bees all over the place because of me. I'll be out there praying before the show. And, you know, I'll pour out a little gin and some water and some honeys. Next thing you know, we got 4,000 bees on the block. But they don't sting nobody. But I pray before I walk in the building because the intent behind what I do is I know I'm flawed. I know I'm limited. So use me. Use my flaws. Use my limitations. Use my weaknesses. I'm telling you, Spirit be telling me, lead with what's wrong with you. Do not come in here in a disingenuous way and try to speak on people's experience without showing how some of the same experiences have tripped you up. You know, I need people to know, man, Yes, I speak, I live it, but I'm also failing with you. And I'm okay with failing. And I'm going to lay my failures out so it could be somewhat of a litmus test for you to say, oh, wow, he was able, he fell on the ground, and now he's on all fours. He's crawling. Oh, now he takes a step, and now he's walking again. Listen, man, that call just meant the world to me, man, and I truly appreciate it. Wow, back to the topic, man. It just blew my mind to get that call. When we come for it, let me clear my head. Lord have mercy. Thank you, Daryl. We appreciate everybody who calls in. The number is 1-800-920-1580. Please get to your phone lines. Let's talk tonight. battle. See, Prince and Vanity fell out. See, originally Prince snatched Vanity from Rick James. You see? To make the girl group. And then Prince and Vanity fall out. Can you imagine if Prince... See, Prince made this record and they were on fire. No question. They were on fire, man. But that album wasn't nothing. It was trash. Just think if Prince would have really focused on Vanity 6 the way he focused on The Time. Now, I know he couldn't really focus in the same way, meaning The Time, probably one of the greatest funk bands ever. Just the musicianship of the people involved in The Time as a group. The musicianship was... So Prince could write records and give it to them and then, you know, practice and train those guys to play it the way he wanted it played to the point where they got it down to perfection. Vanity 6 was just 3 beautiful women that Prince had to give the music to. So that means Prince had to do everything. He had to produce the music, write, produce, perform the music, and then get them to perform it the way he wanted it to sound. But yo, just think if he would have put The Time into Vanity 6 the way Rick James put The Time into the Jones, what is it? What's the girl group? The Jones Girls? What was they called? Rick James's girl group. I done forgot their name. The girl group, in my house. Oh, Mary Jane Girls. See, it came back to Mary Jane Girl. If Prince would have put The Time into Vanity 6 the way Rick put Jane Girls, we would have had a real battle. But I think Vanity 6 only had one record. I think they only had one record. And then our girl, Vanity, was replaced with Apollonia. But they only had one record. But all the records that Prince produced for the girl groups, fire records. So now, let me get back to tonight's topic. How your ex or how your next could be the remix of your ex. Peep game. You know you weren't going to get out of here with me talking about Krishnamurti. Krishnamurti says something very profound. He says, thought is so cunning, so clever, that it distorts everything for its own convenience. Now you got to remember, our thought, listen very carefully, thought, knowledge, is a reflex of memory. That's why it's called knowledge. The root word of knowledge is know. You can only know something. It's in the past, from the past. Knowledge, reflex of memory. I know how to build a car. That's a skill set. That's knowledge. Knowledge is a reflex of memory. Insight happens when everything that you know ceases. These are the times, the space in between. The Buddhist or the Hindu would say no mind, right? Where mind ceases, right? Because the mind dwells on what is known, right? The content of your consciousness is based on your experiences, that which is known. So the ego is rooted in the known, and the unknown represents death to the ego. And that's one thing the ego doesn't want to do, is die. So imagine if you identify with unhealed wounds. Now, that's part of who you are. That's part of, hey, I've been through this. I'm a survivor. No, you're not a survivor. You survived. When you say I'm a survivor, that means you're in perpetual survival mode. Don't let those unhealed wounds dictate how you move forward, because what that does is bring the past into the present which contaminates it. Listen, when you're in the past or when you're in the present, that is synonymous with insight, which is what happens in between thoughts. Thought, knowledge, the past. Insight is perpetually new, like the present. But when you bring future and past into the present, you have ruined the present, in other words, the gift that is the present. You've ruined it. What is anxiety? Future projections. It's fear based on future. Oh, this might happen. This, oh, Lord, I don't want to do that because then the outcome might be this. It's contaminating the present. Or you're in the present saying, man, I hope this one worked because the last time I got to remember not to do what I did. Yeah, I don't want to have to go through what I went through. Now read that quote again. Thought, which is the past. Thought is knowledge, a reflexive memory. Thought is so cunning, so clever, that it distorts everything for its convenience. I need to live. I need to stay alive in this moment. Listen. From the book, Freedom from the Known. That last quote was from Freedom from the Known. Here's another quote from the same book, J. Krishnamurti, Jiddu Krishnamurti, Freedom from the Known. To be free from all authority of your own and that of another is to die to everything of yesterday, so that your mind is always fresh, always young, innocent, full of vigor and passion. It is only in this state that one learns and observes. This is why we say non-judgmental observing. Non-judgmental observing of self means I do not have the screen or the filter of the past or the filter of anxiety projecting to the future. I am in this space of insight, which is immense creativity. You're going to relive what you went through with your ex if you don't do the work. Don't make a wound the authority over your relationship expectations because you refuse to embrace it without judgment. Don't let the wound have the pen of self-authorship. I don't know who I'm talking to tonight. I don't know. It is only in this state of mind that one learns to observe, right? And for this, a great deal of awareness is required, actual awareness of what is going on inside yourself without correcting it or telling it what it should or should not be. Because the moment you correct it, you have established another authority, a censor. You want to be free from your known? What if you modeled abuse? What if you modeled limiting beliefs about life? This is the white man's world. You ain't gonna never make it. Just keep your head low. What if you modeled all of the things that serve as anchors to keep you rooted in the belief that you're unworthy? You could date the same people, just in different bodies. When I come forward, I'm going to Denver, Colorado, one of the faves. Woo, one of the faves is on the line. When we come forward, my girl, Callie Soul, is on the line.
Tonight, don't you wanna come with me? Do you think I'm a nasty girl? Tonight, I'm living in a fantasy, my own little nasty world. Tonight, don't you wanna come with me? Do you think I'm a nasty girl?
This platform is important. We got enough people out there from our own community looking to tear each other down. We got enough people out there who make money, who gain fame and notoriety for ripping each other down. We need a platform that is devoted to inspiration, that is devoted to healing. And I thank Tavis Smiley and the rest, and Elston and everybody else here at KBLA for giving me an opportunity to express myself as my true self. And thank you, Cali Soul and Daryl, man. Y'all done called in and let it be known this evening. When I come forward, you already know where I'm going. Battle Creek, Michigan. It's about to get real.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
LA Metro to open the new K-Line light rail line on October 7th. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News. You heard it right. The new LA Metro K-Line light rail system opens October 7th with free rides. It will open shortly after 12 noon with free rides all weekend on the entire Metro rail system. The K-Line extends from the E-Line, aka the Expo line, at the Expo Crenshaw station and eventually merges with the C-Line, aka the Green Line, at the Aviation LAX station, connecting the Crenshaw Corridor, Inglewood, and El Segundo. The wait is over and the new era of equitable transportation is here on October 7th. I'm Maisha Cairo and that's your K-Black Minute News. We're KBLA 1580, unapologetically progressive.
Imagine a world without heart disease and stroke, where every person has the opportunity to live a full and healthy life. Join the American Heart Association Heart and Stroke Walk October 22nd at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Walk to save lives. Help raise funds for life-saving research, advocacy, and programs that empower people to live healthy and well. Form a team with friends and family at heartwalkla.org. Locally sponsored by UCLA Health, Keck Medicine of USC, and Dignity Health Northridge.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Did you know fixing outdoor leaks can save 27 to 90 gallons of water per day? Even tiny leaks can be huge water wasters. Conserving water starts with a few simple water-saving actions at home and in the yard, like adjusting your sprinklers and adding drip irrigation so you water only where it's needed. We can all do our part to conserve water. Visit SaveOurWater.com for more water-saving tips. Save water, save California.
KBLA Talk 1580, putting the spotlight on culture and community. The Rodney King Foundation works in the community to promote positive race relations and achieve social justice. The foundation provides advocacy, educational scholarship, and the powerful Walk in Love initiative. The Rodney King Foundation seeks a world of hope, tolerance, and social justice, where divisiveness has been overcome and all people live together peacefully and harmoniously. Executive Director, Founder Laura King is striving to enhance the community's self-esteem, health, social services, and social justice locally and worldwide. The foundation is dedicated to continuing the message message of Laura's father, the great Rodney King, to promote peace and hashtag get along. For more information, please visit rodneyking.org or call 626-541-2907. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason, Zoe Williams, live on KBLA Talk 1580. The playlist is my co-host. One of the greatest women groups ever constructed, the Jones Girls, man. My God, Nights Over Egypt in the name of Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. What an amazing song. Man, love the playlist tonight. It set the tone. Our topic is very powerful. I got to feed him in. Heru Ali from Battle Creek, Michigan. Let's go. Honors, Heru.
Peace and love to the family of nations. Honors Soul, staff, and Tavis Smiley. Listen, Callie, honors to you, honors to all the callers, but Callie made me fall back. So I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
I love my brother, man. I love it.
Woo. Maybe next time the topic comes up, but the thing that I will leave you with is for the most our ex calls back, and especially if it ended tumultuously, don't answer the phone. They ain't got nothing new to say. Peace and love to the family and nations. I love y'all. Thank y'all for hitting the challenge. I mean, over and above, value for value. And so you need it. Peace and love.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you. Let's learn to master the skills of letting go. But it's not about letting go of a person. It's about letting go of a pattern. Your next, whether new or will be, in some way, shape, or form, a representation. Nothing is actually freedom. I know nobody ever told you that. Nothing is freedom. but you'd rather have something. Even if that something hurt you. Oh, man. Be open to let that go. Krishnamurti says it a different way from freedom from the no. And to be safe in a relationship inevitably breeds sorrow and fear. The seeking for security is inviting insecurity. Have you ever found security in any of your relationships? Have you? Most of us want the security of loving and being loved. But there is love when each one of us is seeking his own security, his own particular path. We are not loved because we don't know how to love. Now, where does it come from? You learn how to love by loving yourself. Where does self-love come from? Accepting yourself. What is true acceptance? Acceptance is the embrace without the judgment. Imagine how your heart could open up if you fully embraced you. I mean, fully, without judgment, without condemnation. You fully embraced yourself. It doesn't mean you won't have struggles. It doesn't mean you won't have challenges. It means your response to them will be heightened. Do you understand? What do you want out of it? What do you want? Do you want a better life? Then treat yourself better. If you want a better life, treat yourself better. This goes back to my point. The distinction between what is known as self-care. Care means burden, sorrow, suffering. Care is the English equivalent of the Sanskrit dukkha, bad space, suffering, attachment, disappointment, frustration. That's care. The burden of it. Oh, I care about this child. No. Empathy. Self-empathy. When we start to learn how to empathize with ourselves, accept ourselves without judgment, the demands that other people show up in the way we need them to diminishes. This is a higher level of relating. If you want more from life, seek more from self. Oh, I know that don't, for many people that don't resonate. If you want more from life, seek more from self. And in the seeking of more, you're acknowledging that you have more to give. There's more layers. Listen, I started the conversation. You finish it. It's Friday night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll be back on Monday with another barn burner. Listen to my brother Danny Morrison right after this.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Stevens. Here's a latest.
Like, every time there be like a old talking about hip hop, you be like, yo, bro, you sure you invented this? Because everybody else living better than you. Facts.
That is so foul, right? What sucks is that prior to that ignorant rant, he seemed to be fighting for the cause by making the case that the artists from the past don't have the same opportunities to make money that today's generation of MCs do. It's the point that Robin and I were making last week with NFL players of old being upset that today's football players are reaping the financial benefits of all their hard work in the past, which is why a hip-hop union is needed to protect the interests of these black musical artists and their families. But Academics just couldn't help himself. Calling my heroes Dusty and Spice One, Kid Capri, and this man who walked in walking like a panther. Had a little something to say about the misinformed and disrespectful comments of DJ Academics. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mr. James Todd Smith himself, LL Cool J.
It came to my attention that a DJ, and I'm not going to say any names because I don't think it's necessary. A DJ basically said that, you know, a lot of the pioneers in hip-hop are, you know, they're dusty, or how can they be the person that, you know, invented hip-hop if, you know, they don't have a lot of money? Or if they don't look or represent like they have a lot of dough, right? Let me explain something to you and say this for you guys. Don't confuse someone's ability to develop a business model. Don't conflate. In other words, don't think just because somebody knows how to get money or fails to get money that they didn't make a contribution to the culture.
Facts.
No one discusses Miles Davis's bank account. We don't talk about John Coltrane's bank account. We don't talk about a lot of even rock musicians, a lot of them. We don't talk about their bank accounts. A lot of great country artists, we don't talk about their bank accounts. This idea that you have to have money or else you don't have any value is a bad idea, and it's kind of like, it's a misinformed way of looking at the world and the culture.
Eat 'em up, L. All facts, all of it. LL Cool J never holds back. Jack the Ripper, King Hercules. So that is what tonight's show is about. Tonight is once again about generational disconnect, but the question is today's generation even capable of looking at the generations prior and willing to give the necessary love and respect to the people that came before them? The black people that shattered glass ceilings and kicked down societal doors. The black people that were told 1,000 no's, that were reinforced with racial barriers but never relented and eventually got that transformative yes. Look, I may believe that I'm extremely nice on this radio mic, make no mistake, but I fully understand that generational talents like Tavis Smiley laid the groundwork and paved the way for media personalities like myself. I may love being brash and outspoken every night on the Danny Mo Show too, but I fully understand that people like Muhammad Ali gave black people the courage to speak our minds and use our voices to speak truth to power. I may love black music as a whole, with classic hip-hop and 90s R&B dominating my playlist each and every day, but I will always spend my time streaming their music and spending my last dime to go and see them live in an effort to keep the real black music dream alive. And as much as I get frustrated with my own black people and continue to willing to fight for our cause in spite of ourselves sometimes, my love for us is unwavering and unconditional, because Luther King showed me the beauty of our people, and to never allow injustice and inequality to cloud my judgment on why we tend to do the things we do at times. I owe my life and career to the pioneers that came before me. We all owe an eternal debt of gratitude to those black people that were willing to put their lives on the line for the purpose of pushing our people forward in another place and time. And I am furious at any black person who finds themselves in a fortuitous position tonight and forgets about the reason they're in the position that they are in. In the words of Barack Obama, you didn't build that. You had help from the African American pioneers that came before you, regardless of how talented you think you are. And our ancestors, our forefathers and mothers, and our pioneers are exactly the reason you are exactly who and where you are. Don't get it twisted. In conclusion, I'm going to give a shout out to those hip hop artists out there that people like DJ Academics claims are looking dusty. But they may be unaware that they have inspired far more people in their careers than his pudgy little body ever could. These cats took 2 turntables and a microphone in a borough in New York in the mid-1970s and methodically cultivated it into the biggest musical art form in the world, a multi-billion-dollar industry that he is benefiting from. I will always bang Tupac in my headphones for added inspiration. Bang Big Daddy Kane in my headphones for a little lyrical demonstration. And bang all 25 years of classic hip-hop in my headphones on the regular because when I was a youngster myself, hip-hop music and my faith in God were literally my salvation. And I implore all of us to never forget where we came from. Because you don't know where you're going until you know where you've been. And I thank the hip-hop pioneers for showing me exactly who I am and where I need to be. Will these youngsters follow suit? I have faith that we will soon see. But, that's just me. Tell me what you think, LA. What do you think of DJ Academic's comments? He claims that all pioneers of hip-hop are always looking dusty? Do you buy that? And why do you think that he is even saying that? Also, I'll play devil's advocate again, no. Is it fair to blame the less successful black entertainers from the past on their lack of business acumen? Whose fault is it that they haven't benefited from their own talent? Do they bear any responsibility? And was LL Cool J correct in saying that only in hip-hop is where these multi-generational comparisons are made? Ain't doing that in country. Ain't doing that in rock music. Why hip-hop? And lastly, are we in the midst of another generational disconnect, huh? Can this new generation ever see the pioneers in a positive light, huh? Or will the fathers and mothers of hip-hop be treated in much the same way our legendary soul musicians and past professional athletes are treated? Never given the flowers they deserve. Holla at your boy. Your voice is the change, your voice is the community. Your voice is on. 1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. You can also stream us via the brand new KBLA streaming app on your app store, iOS or Android. It don't matter. That same app allows you to send me your questions and comments that I will answer live at different intervals throughout the broadcast. Plus, like, share, and follow your favorite radio station live on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KBLA 1580. Feel free to follow me at Danny Mo Show on those same platforms too. Plus, me and my well-dressed nighttime partner in crime, Robin A.S. We'll take your comments via the ecosystem of our social network. Check this out. When we come forward, I will add another 7 series to add to the topic of conversation tonight. Look, our week highlighting disconnects continues with hip-hop taking center stage tonight. But there are a few other art forms and genres where our African-American pioneers are an afterthought as well. With individuals that have changed our lives and changed history in the process, and you may not even know them. That's why my 7 series tonight is 7 black pioneers who are seemingly underappreciated. There's so many black people from the past that deserve our eternal love. People that have paved the way and made us who we are today. I'll give you a few tonight. Stay tuned. Add to the conversation with your phone calls when we come forward. Welcome to the Danny Morrison Show on Unapologetically Progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about. Let's rock.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles. From middays to nighttime. Like George and Weezy, Danny Morrison is